Now this is the syllabus for class 11 biology. And this is for theory. The syllabus is according to CBSE. Exam is for 3 hours duration. Maximum marks will be 70 for theory and 30 marks for practicals. So these are the units. There are 5 units to be covered. One is diversity of living organisms, then structural organization in plants and animals, cells, structure and function, plant physiology, and human physiology. So maximum weightage of marks goes to human physiology. That's towards the end. Now each of these units will have chapters to be covered. So in unit 1, diversity of living organisms, these will be the chapters. Chapter 1, the living world. It's about the living organisms, the different taxonomy and systematics and all. Next is chapter 2, biological classification. That means how all the organisms are classified into different phylum, kingdom. That will be dealt in the chapter. The next is chapter 3, plant kingdom. So here the plants will be classified into different groups. Chapter 4, animal kingdom. This involves the classification of animals into different groups. So here we will have to learn salient features and a few examples of each category. Then in unit 2, structural organization in animals and plants. So at the cellular level, what all are there in animals and plants? Those chapters will come in under this. So there is chapter 5, which is about morphology of flowering plants, that is all the external characteristics of plants. Then chapter 6, anatomy of flowering plants, which involves the inside tissue systems of plants. And then comes chapter 7, structural organization in animals. Unit 3 is about cell structure and function. So chapter 8 comes in that how cell, the unit of life, what are the different cell organelles present inside them, their structure, their functions, they all will be dealt with inside this chapter. Chapter 9, biomolecules, that leads to the learning of chemical constituents. Not all biomolecules are present. Then their properties, their structure, their functions, that will be dealt inside this chapter. Chapter 10 means cell cycle and cell division. That means there are 2 types of cell divisions, mitosis, meiosis. So what are their significance? And about the cell cycle on the whole, that we'll be learning in this chapter. The next is from unit 4, that is plant physiology, which is about the different processes. Like chapter 13 involves photosynthesis in higher plants. Then chapter 14, respiration in the plants. And chapter 15, the plant growth and development in. So there are plant cell growth regulators also, like hormones. Then comes unit 5, that is human physiology, which includes chapter 17, that is about breathing and exchange of gases and about the respiratory system in humans, the respiratory disorders in humans. Then chapter 18 is about body fluids and circulation, then heart, blood vessels, blood, then the problems, the disorders of circulatory system. Chapter 19, excretory products and their elimination. That means what are the different types of excretory products and how the kidney functions and what are the disorders related to excretory system. Then chapter 20, locomotion and movement. That means the different types of movement. Then the disorders of muscular and skeletal system, how the muscle contracts. All this will be dealt in this chapter 20. Then chapter 21, neural control and coordination. How nervous system helps in control and coordinating our body systems. That comes in this chapter. Then chapter 22, chemical coordination and integration, which means how hormones and endocrine glands, different types of endocrine glands, how they help to coordinate our body's systems, and what are the different diseases related to the human physiological systems. So that's the end of the theory. So we can see, as we see chapter numbers, some of the chapters have been deleted. You don't have to study. Like say chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 is present. Chapter 4 also, 5, 6, 7 is also there. 8, 9, 10 is also there. But 11 and 12 is not covered. That means that is deleted. 13, 14, 15. Chapter 16 is missing, so that is deleted. So chapter 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. While the theory is for 70 marks, practicals will be for 30 marks. And the evaluation scheme is like this. There will be one major experiment for 5 marks, one minor experiment, 4 marks, slide preparation, 5 marks, spotting, 7 marks, practical record plus viva, 4 marks, project record plus viva, 5 marks. Totally 30 marks. Now there are suggestions here. Major experiment, what all experiments come inside that. Minor experiment, what all experiments come. And slide preparation, what all experiments come. The credit to the students' work over the academic session may be given. So students' work over the year will be taken into account to give the marks. So these are the list of experiments that is done as major experiments for 5 marks. So any one can be done as major experiment. So these are the experiments that can come as minor experiment. That's for 4 marks. This one is comparative study of the rates of transpiration in the upper and lower surfaces of leaves. Study the rate of respiration in flower buds, leaf tissue and germinating seeds. Test for the presence of urea in urine. Test for presence of sugar in urine. Test for presence of albumin in urine. And test for presence of bile salts in urine. So these will constitute the minor experiments. So any one of them will be given and 4 marks. For the major experiment, the list is like this. Study and describe locally available some common flowering plants belonging to family Solanaceae, Poaceae, Asteraceae, Brassicaceae. So it can be substituted in case of particular geographical location also. So we learn the floral characteristics. Study of osmosis by potato osmometer. This is a second major experiment. Test for the presence of sugar, starch, proteins and fats in suitable plant and animal materials. This is a third type of major experiment. And then comes separation of plant pigments through paper chromatography. So all these comprises of the major experiments in which one will be asked, and that will be for 5 marks. And for spotting of 7 marks, these will be the different practicals. Parts of a compound microscope, different specimens, models and slides, some virtual specimens of amoeba, hydra, liver fluke, earthworm, like that. And then comes mitosis in onion root tip cells and animal cells. They all permanent slides will be kept and they have to be identified and features have to be written. Then different types of inflorescence, a human skeleton, different types of joints with the help of virtual images. So all these will be the spotting experiments. for 7 marks. So that's for the syllabus of class 11 biology. Children, all the best for the exams.